So the 4 things that every divorcee needs: 1, they need to be shown kindness. Kindness. They need to be shown kindness. Your reflex action might be to judge, but let me tell you something. When you are seeing a person going through a divorce, your reflex might be to judge them, but you don't know their story or their struggle. Can I tell you something? When in doubt and you don't have facts, can I give you the gift of shut up? Can I encourage you to stay in your lane? Can I have you, listen, can I tell some folk here, stay out of other folks' houses, in beds you ain't laid in walls you ain't painted, in bathrooms you ain't cleaned, in basements you ain't swept. Can you just stay in your house, not knowing the facts, the details? You don't have an idea. Here is your response, lane crasher. Kindness. Because no one is judging the divorcee harder than themselves. But they can't even talk to you because all they go hear is idealism. And brothers and sisters, notice the text in verse 3 says, then the king asked him, is anyone still alive? If you could circle still alive. I know you like he said that. I know. Let me be redundant. Because here's the thing that I need you to ask a question to yourself. Is there anyone in the house still alive? Do you still got a pulse beating through your body? Do you still have breath in your lungs? Then, if you are alive, you can be redeemed. If you are alive, you can be restored. If you are alive, you can be repositioned. That is why the enemy has been trying to get you to commit suicide and wrestle with terminating your life, because he knows there's seed in the ground. And when you put seed in the ground, there's a law of sowing and reaping. He wants you to abort the process before you reap the harvest. Tap yourself and say, I'm still alive. I'm still alive. See, God will help you as long as you keep one foot. You may not have strength. You may not have hopefulness. You might not have the idea of what tomorrow looks like. But baby, sometimes you just got to walk every day, one step in front of the other. I don't know where, I don't know how, but I'm here. I'm present. I showed up today. And guess what you did? You showed up today. You showed up today. You could have laid in the bed of depression, but you woke up this morning. You put some water on your face. You went for it and said, I'm going to give God one more chance. Don't give up on the God who makes gardens out of graves. And if you're not dead, God's not done. If you got a pulse, God has a purpose. If there's a heartbeat, there's hope. Kindness. The second thing that the divorcee needs, they need to be found. They need to be found. They need to be found. In 2 Samuel 9:4, I'm going to cut across the field. 2 Samuel 9:4. Well, let me go. Let me say this. Let me go back. I bought some AirPod 3s, third generation AirPod 3s. I bought them because my other ones was getting outdated, so I bought these. Didn't like them really much because they didn't have the rubber tip to them to stay in your ear, so they would slide out from time to time. And I bought these AirPod 3s, and I lost them. I lost them. They were $280. You could find that same price on Google, because you know how people are when a preacher say he bought something. What a preacher doing buying AirPod? What you doing buying toothpaste? Maybe you need extra strength toothpaste. I don't know. My point is this, so I lost these AirPods, and you know how I turned the house upside down. Couldn't find them, went to the car, turned the car upside down. Couldn't find them, went to the office at work here, couldn't find them. And I kind of got a little discouraged. I was like, man, that's $280, man. Just throwing money around. And so something hit me about it's technology. So I went to the settings and went to the AirPod designation, and saw that it had a thing on it that says, play sound if lost. So I'm in my second floor of the house. I hit the button, and I'm listening. I don't hear nothing. I go to the main level of the house. I go through every room, hitting the button. I don't hear nothing. I go to the main level. I'm just walking around hitting the button. I don't hear nothing. I go out to the garage, hitting the button. I don't hear nothing. Sometimes I go to the car again. I go to the car. I hit the button. I hear something. The sound allowed it to be found. And what God is saying to you today is that if you still have a praise in your belly, you might feel lost, but God will find you where you're praising. God is saying, open your mouth and give me praise. You might be disheveled, but give me praise. You might be discouraged, but give me praise. You might feel down, but give me praise. Is there anybody alive? Give your neighbor a high five and says, I got a sound. Depression at the door. Say the words of praise. Suicidal ideations. Let go your sound. Discouragement on the door front. Let out your sound. The text in verse 4 says it this way. Where is he? The king asked in Lo-debar. Ziba told him, at the home of Micaiah, son of Amiel. Where is he? In Lo-debar. Has anybody ever been to Lo-debar? Has the weight of life hit you so hard you had to visit Lo-debar? Have you been so disrupted you were low at the bar? Do I got anybody that can be honest and says, I've been to Lo-debar? I've been so down, I tried to drink it away. I've been so out of it, I tried to sleep it away. I've been to Lo-debar. I've been in the valley of Lo-debar. He was in Lo-debar. You might be here today not struggling with a divorce, but you're in Lo. You feel like a failure in Lo-debar. Your schedule, your timeline is off. You're in Lo-debar. You've been fighting for your faith. You in Lo-debar. You've been trying to smile through the storm. You're in Lo-debar. You've been trying to get your traction for the last 4 months. You're in Lo-debar. Friends that abandon you. You're in Lo-debar. You've had jobs say we can't have you no more. You're in Lo-debar. You're not seeing eye to eye with the people who love you. You're in Lo-debar. The Hebrew word for Lo-debar means a place of no pasture, no word, and no communication. It means a place where nothing is growing under your feet. It means a place there is no word of hope for your life. A place of no communication, which means you've been cut off by people. They've abandoned you. And here Mephibosheth is in Lo-debar. Do I got anybody here that needs to be found? Wrap back and give God one more praise and give God a praise out of your heart. need to be found. Because you're in the place of Lodabar. No pasture, no word, no communication. It's funny how people do you. They'll cut you off. Won't encourage you. It's amazing how the very people I preached out of their depression, when it was my turn, they kicked me further into my depression. It's amazing how we get forgetful. Very people I walked to the courtroom with to help them hold their arms up when all I needed them to say is, I got you. I ain't siding with nobody, I just got you. Because in my experience, you've been good to me, and that's all I can go off of. But when it's my turn for my arms to be held up, they throw them down and says, you're not worthy. The unfruitful place, the barren place, Lodabar. Who can be honest with me this morning and say, I've been there? May not have been a divorce, it might have been something else. I've been a Lodabar. I need to be found. Because that's what God comes to get you. And notice the text says, Ziba told him at the home of Machir, the son of Amiel. Here's the thing. So David went and got him. He said, I can't let what the enemy wants to do to him stop what God destined him for. God help me. The third thing, I'm close to close. I'm close. They need to be understood. They need to be understood. They need to be understood. It is so important that we learn the beautiful art of minding yours. And the reason I say that is because we oftentimes never calculate the person's pain in the person's process. All we do is view their process without ever calculating their pain. And notice the text says in verse 4, he was 5 and was dropped. So now if you catch Mephibosheth, now some 20 years have passed, he's about 25 now, and he cannot walk. What you came in on at 25 would be a judgment as to asking what is the culpability of why he cannot walk. Who did? Who sinned? Who messed up? Who did what? But we don't understand that he was dropped when he could not care for himself. The one that was supposed to care for him, the nurse that was supposed to care for him, dropped him. But you come in his life at 25 and you don't know his story. That is why we've got to be more embracing of a person as a person, not as a performer. They're not supposed to always get A's. That's the goal, but what happens when they get a C? My son's still my son if he comes home with a C. My son's still my son if he comes home with a B. My son's still my son if he comes home with a failing grade. He's still mine. And what you better understand is that if it's mine, you better get your mouth off of mine. Get your mouth off mine. And I believe God is saying the same thing. That's my child. That's my daughter. They might have failed, but they still mine. They might have tripped up, but they still mine. Here's why. Here's why. In verse 8 of chapter 9, notice the text. He's been summoned. It says Mephibosheth bowed respectfully, and he passionately explained himself. He's in front of David the king. He says, this is what he says, who is your servant that you should show such kindness to a dead dog like me? Check this out. He had nothing to do with his crippling. Nothing. Nothing. And for 20 years, he's got to psychologically process himself as a dead dog. So much so that when he talks to the king, he says to the king, I ain't nothing. For 20 years, I ain't been nothing. I can't walk. I used to be a part of the royal lineage. I'm a dead dog. And that's why y'all got to understand the power of this particular scripture text. That's why you can't give up on you. Because though you feel like it's over with, God has something he's going to redeem out of your life. I don't want revenge. Divorcees, you get over revenge. Because I learned there's something better than revenge. You know what I learned that's better than revenge? I learned reward is better than revenge. You thought I was dead, but God let me live instead. You thought I was done, but God then set me up for a come up. If I got anybody here, I feel good today, that got a redemptive praise on the inside of it, where you should have been cast away, kicked out, but God reeled you in. Do I got anybody? I said, do I got anybody that can give God a praise for the reward? Whew. I'll close out. Whew. The fourth and final thing is they need to know God isn't finished with them. God isn't finished with them. In 2 Samuel 9 and 7, it's important you catch this. This is David talking to Mephibosheth. He says, I intend to show kindness to you because of my promise. I'm just fighting fear. I'm just fighting failure. I'm just fighting the threat of death. Because promise supersedes pain. Y'all don't believe y'all. Promise is the thing that overcomes the sentence. Jesus said it this way, destroy this temple and in 3 days, promise makes death back up. Okay. It says, because of my promise to your father, Jonathan, notice this, I will give you all the property that it is huge, that once belonged to your grandfather Saul. And somebody shout, and you will eat here with me at the king's. I told you that reward is better than revenge. I told you that promise outweighs the pain. I told you that God ain't gave up on you. If I got anybody that can give God one more shout and say yeah, say yeah, say yeah. Won't he do it? 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 Give God a praise. Won't he do it? Won't he make a way? The enemy wanted you to cut off your ninth inning at bat. Notice the text. I intend to show you kindness. And I'm going to give you back all the property. Some of y'all about to get y'all dreaming back. You're about to get your creativity back. You're about to get your strength back. You used to be hopeful. God says, I'm about to give you your hopefulness. Woo. And he says, and you will eat here with me at the king's table. You will eat here with me at the king's table. God says he has a purpose even after the failure. Because before you ever said I do, God called you from your mother's womb. And I love the fact, the beauty of marriage, but marriage didn't make you. And I'd be a fool if it breaks you. God says, I'm going to bring back all that was ripped away from you. Friends that left you. Folk that still got social media posts about you. God says, don't ask for revenge. I'm about to give you reward.